Hello, and welcome to my first episode of Majo Manifesto. Now, I have tried to film this once. Did I like it? No. I was in my bed, and I feel like I should be a little upright and ready for conversation, as if this was a little podcast thing. I wanted to start a series where I re-explore my career, and it's very, very old creations. I'm dating myself. But truly, I've been doing this since I was 14. And I feel like I have a very unique experience in the industry in that I have been involved in the actual industry since I was 16 and then writing music since I was 14. So it's been 10 years of writing, producing, playing music, and all of this music has been seen by you lovely people for that long, which is beautiful. My first project came out when I was 17. It was 2017. The first songs I wrote on it was Hollow, which I wrote when I was 14. So yeah, it's been a long time, and I wanted to kind of do a little catch up, do a little get to know me. I do not like the internet, as I've said many a times. I mean, my username is literally sick of the internet, so we get it. We got it. But it's been that since I was 17. I have felt this way for a long time, but now I feel like I'm ready to be here. I'm ready to speak. I feel like a whole person. And I feel like I just want to talk now. I just want to speak to people. So here I am. I feel really blessed to be able to be here still and for these songs to still have an impact to this day. So I wanted to assure you also with this series that just because the internet seems fleeting, that trends are so short, they're so extreme, and people kind of like blip out of existence, that doesn't have to be the norm. You know what I mean? And I feel like my music has stood the test of time. I'm so glad it has. And I want to keep pushing for real art, real music that becomes a classic, because I think that's what real art and real music is, or to be an artist is when your music isn't a trend, your music is innovative, it stands a test of time, it lives on, and that's my goal as an artist, and that regardless of how much time has passed can still be loved by people. And a lot of my music has been, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. My first episode, I wanted to start with a lot of people's favorite song, but especially on SoundCloud. Weirdly enough, I love my SoundCloud people. Okay, if it is 2025 and you still listen to SoundCloud, I love you for that. That place is so janky. That place is so amazing. Has the weirdest gems of music and just beautiful pieces of art. I wrote that song when I was I think I was 16 or 17. I actually do have the book still. I'm going to insert a little clip because I tried to do this once before. So just to prove to you when Late Night TV was made, we have the date up here. Where's that? Yeah. 23/08/16 at 11:45. My first project, Sideline 4, that's what Late Night TV was on. It was just built on basically self-exploration. I was a very curious and too self-aware child. I was very aware of my surroundings, my environment. I was very sensitive to things, very anxious. I thought a lot. And I always sought I call it the truths of life, and I still feel that way, but I didn't like to beat around the bush. I just wanted to get to it. You know what I mean? I wanted to get to the meat of what life was really about. And I never really followed into peer pressure because of that. I never liked to party or drink or smoke at 16, or not even 16. I'd say 14 to 16, because that's what high school starts as 14. I would tell myself, I'd be my brain is not fully developed enough for me to be indulging in things that I can create a crutch on, like drinking and smoking. I'm just not mature enough to deal with that. I don't know where that came about. It's probably my parents. But I had a very, very stubborn inner self that was very protective of me and my brain, which I am so grateful for to this day that I started all those things later in life. It still messed me up. You still have to go through your things and mess up and have your bad experiences, but I'm glad that I experienced that when I was 18 plus and not underage. I feel like it would have been a lot worse for me. But besides me not giving into peer pressure, I was also really hella beat. I was really ugly. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I was beat as hell. So I needed a personality. But my personality was very, very off. I had a very funny, it's just me who I am now, but like even weirder, just more cringe. I used to write a lot on like Wattpad and Movella and stuff. You will never find those accounts. But I never wrote fan fiction. I did write all like my original stories, poetry, whatever. I was very, very emo as a kid. So I loved, my first concert was Panic at the Disco. I loved bands like that. You know, Fall Out Boy. Are they called Fall Out Boy? Really? That's crazy. Anyways, I don't know why I just bagged that that's what they're called. Anyways, Paramore, Evanescence, Flyleaf, Bring Me the Horizon. I was into metal as well, and I will take credit for my brother being into metal because of me. Okay, but yeah, I was just a very odd child. But thankfully, obviously, I grew out of my beatness. You know, we're here now. But that's just the life of a brown person. Is we grow out of it at like 22. It's very weird, but we go through all of this, and at 22 our face rearranges. So at the time, I honestly just sat in my room and pondered life. I didn't hang out with people outside of school, and I'm not saying that was my choice, but like most of the time people were just like, yeah, you're cool, I see you around school, but I'm not really going to invite you to things. Totally fine, made me who I was and who I am, but most of the time I was in my room and I just pondered life. That's pretty much it. So the way I wrote during that time was that I would talk about life stuff. It wasn't super about love or relationships. It literally was basically only about myself and the way people saw me. I like that I write more about that stuff. I feel like people don't talk about that enough, like the nuances of life, and it's not so much about relationships, but it's about self-development and character development. And I had that, and I'm trying to really re-explore that now. Yeah, so my inspirations were just facets of my life and myself. So late night TV was about how I saw my creative process at the time. I had this very poetic idea of a lot of songs and things. It was like this idea that late night TV represented how I got up at night and wrote most of my songs. For example, like the image that came into my head during that time was that, you know, like when you turn on your TV and there's just static, there's just noise. It's annoying, it's loud. I attributed that to my brain. So I had a lot of anxious thoughts of just running and running and running. And I had this idea of me sitting down and turning on a channel and kind of flipping through the channels. And that's me flipping through my thoughts and kind of coming to a stream of consciousness and writing about that. So yeah, that's what late night TV was about, was me just getting up, flipping on a channel. So that meant me picking an idea, running with it, and just listening to it. That was how I wrote a lot of my songs, was at night in anxiety. Because I talk so much in my day, it was like overcompensation for how lonely I kind of felt when I was by myself. So when I was by myself, I didn't have anybody to talk to, you know? It was just me and my thoughts. And I just like to just run my mouth and get all my thoughts out of there and anxiety throughout the day. But then when I was with myself, I was very, very lonely. I was very anxious. I was very self-critical. And I would read a lot of books as well, which is beautiful. But I would also write in a lot of notebooks and things. And it was always about the feeling of pencil on paper, which I'm back to now, which is also really nice. But yeah, that was the beginning of late night TV. Had some amazing collaborators on that song. Jason was the main producer, and then we had Jack Roshan. He had done some production, laid down that beautiful prophet that you hear in the beginning. Still so honored that he got to be on that project. And then we had Tim and then Lucas on keys during that time. That was like the OG crew, Jason, Tim, and Lucas. And yeah, I can't be more grateful that that song came about, that I had a place to be, a space to flourish, and that people believed in me at freaking 16. Still so mind-boggling. But yeah, thank you so much again to my collaborators, and thank you for listening. If you guys want to revisit that song, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple, it's on SoundCloud. But yeah, I can't wait to keep exploring myself and my songs, and to bring you guys with me. Probably gonna put this on YouTube or some shit, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, follow me on socials. I'm really excited about this new chapter of my life, revisiting myself, my music, not really caring about being perfect, but just truly caring about who I am and how to display that authentically, and not in a way that I found is gimmicky or attention seeking. I just want to be myself. I want to share who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of how far I've come. It's been 10 years in this industry already. And now is when I finally feel like myself. Now is when I feel like I can step into myself as a whole being and come back to my true purpose, which is to help heal, help people find themselves in this life through my gift, work on myself so I can be my best version, to give to people. I feel very much in service of mankind, of community, and I'd like to explore that. So thank you for listening. Please tune into the next one. It's gonna be, I think I'm gonna do Only Better. I love that song so much. And I'm really excited. I'm excited to finally sit down and talk about these things. And if you guys have any questions and stuff, please let me know. I'd love to answer some stuff. Yeah, so I'll see you on the next one, on the next episode of Majo Manifesto. I'm gonna do a different outro every time. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay.